nammwe kye tuli.
You want to start or you want me to start? All right. The first thing you got to understand about Donalyn, I want to tell you about her.
Ekintu kye mulina okusooka okutegeera ku Donalyn kye ngenda okubagamba.
She's one of the most kindest, most approachable people you will ever meet.
Ye muntu akyasinze okuba n'ekisa ate omuntu atuukirirwa gw'osobola okusinkana.
If you want to talk to somebody who's willing to listen and encourage, that's the lady.
Bw'oba oyagala okwogera ku muntu anaakuwuliriza ate n'akuzaamu amaanyi y'ono omukyala.
I'll tell you a little bit about Dave too. There's nothing he can't do. Except dance.
Yeah. We have 13 grandchildren. And this lady is a fabulous grandmother. And the kids just love being with her. Yeah, so that's number 2.
What else can I tell you about Dave? He's an incredible counselor. And it always amazes me how he can take people to the scripture for all the answers.
And the last thing I'll share about Donalyn is, without a doubt, she is my best friend. Jesus is number 1, but humanly she's number 2. Yeah, and understand that 51 years together hasn't always been easy. It's been up and down. Yeah, but we have a shared history that's deep, and it's rich, and it's strong, and it'll last long because of Jesus and because our long time commitment to each other. Okay.
The third thing I want to tell you about Dave is that he is an incredible romantic. He has planned some of the most fun dates that we have ever had.
I like that. Well, if you can't put a smile on your spouse's face, you got a problem. Yeah. So we want to talk to you about connection. You know, like when you plug a plug into the wall, and there's a connection and the power goes through. When there's a connection between Donalyn and I, there's the power of love that happens between us. But it starts with connection. Connection is not just communication, but it includes that. It includes that. But it's more than just connection in that sense. It's emotional connection. Relational connection, having fun together. And spiritual connection, praying together and sharing together. But the heart of it is just learning to really be each other's friends. I love the song you had us doing. Well, we were just listening, you know that. But, you know, I love the wife God gave me. I like the man God gave me. It was great. Yeah. And so that's where we're going today. All right. In Canada, we have a playground apparatus called the teeter-totter. Kids play on it. You might recognize it like this. Got to keep your mic up here. There we go. Okay. You seen that one there? Where it goes like this? Kids play? Seen that?
What's that called?
Teeter-totter. Got it. Okay. Understand that when there's someone that's heavier, I can go down like this, and she's stuck up in the air forever. She can't get down because I'm heavier. Now, you know that if we're going to have a good time playing this game, to balance the relationship, I have to move towards her. And then it balances. But if I stay using my weight, she's up there forever. Or like sometimes kids do in Canada, they jump off quick and let them crash down. Never in Uganda. That's all angels. Yeah. So do you see this teeter-totter? You understand in the middle? There's a balance. And that's what we want to talk about here. Relational equilibrium or relational balance is the condition in a relationship where different personalities and differing perspectives are carefully balanced.
And the first law of relational equilibrium that we're talking about, that balance, we have to have a shared purpose. And our shared purpose, our goal in our marriage, we want a great marriage.
Yeah.
We want it better than just mediocre. We really want a good marriage. When we were 30 years married, we looked at each other and said, you know what? We could easily go 60 years in marriage. My parents just passed away last year. They had been married 71 years. So, 60 years married, we can do that maybe. Lord willing. Yeah, Lord willing. But we have to be committed to make it work. And our common goal has to be wanting to get closer together.
Yeah. You see, we talk about shared purpose. Do you both want a better marriage? Do you both want to go on a ride together towards a great marriage? Then you have to get in the same car, don't you? And so at some point, shared purpose has to do with coming to agreement together. You see, we want a great marriage not just because we speak about it. We want a great marriage because we live in it and we want to enjoy it.
And that's all about better communication. We want to be able to talk together and actually communicate what we're feeling.
Mpuliziganya ennungi bw'oba oyagala obufumbo obulimu essanyu kitegeeza empuliziganya ennungi ogenda kugifubako.
And guess what? We have problems together. We have issues that come up between us.
Tuyina obuzibuzibu bwe tusobola okusisinkana era tuyina n'ensonga ezisobola okujja mu makati gaffe.
Anybody else have issues that come up between you?
Waliwo wano nga obufumbo bwe bubeeramu kwebisoomooza.
Yeah, some of you aren't telling the truth, though. Okay. We need to be willing to change, each of us. And we want to be able to listen to each other, really listen to what each other is saying.
So we talk shared purpose. Listen close. Marriage is the only game in town where either you both win or you both lose. You understand that? We're on the same team. We have a shared purpose. We want a great marriage. So we do it like this. Ready? Woohoo! You see, we want to celebrate, and our shared purpose is we want a great marriage. And just like winners after a game, do they not cheer and celebrate? Ready? Woohoo! That's where you're going in a minute. Okay, number 2. The second law of relational equilibrium is equal voice. In this case here, you have the freedom to share your thoughts. You have the right to be heard, to feel safe, to feel validated, and that your input is welcomed. See, equal voice means my spouse and I share about how we want to work things out in marriage. We share about decisions together. Equal voice. I want to just clarify something here about equal voice. We've all heard about head of the home, right? You know, the husband's head of the home. You heard that, right? We know that's from Ephesians chapter 5. But in that passage where it talks about man being head of the home, that paragraph starts in verse 21 with this. Submit to one another out of respect for Christ. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Submit to one another out of respect for Christ. Submit to one another out of respect for Christ. So this is what a quality marriage looks like. Because I want to submit to Donalyn and find a way to serve her. And she also wants to surrender to me and find a way to serve me. You see, at the heart of a solid Christian marriage is the attitude of, I want to serve. I follow Jesus' example of servanthood. And I'm sure the North American culture is more challenging in this regard than even the Ugandan culture. But there's a lot of people mistaken that head of the home means I get to make all the decisions. And I got privileges because I'm the head of the home. And you got to do what I say. I don't believe that's what the Bible is saying. Let me explain it this way. Jesus actually said that we shouldn't be like the Gentiles who like to lord it over people. They like to be up in pedestals, and they like to look down on people. They like to be the boss. He says, I don't want you to be like this. He said this next. Because the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. You starting to hear servanthood? And when it says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church, last time I checked, it looked something like this. Didn't it? Jesus died on the cross for us. That's how much he loved the church. So I need to accept that as head of the home. It means I'm responsible for what's going on here. But I need to serve. Matter of fact, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 33 and 34 says this. But a married man. Sure. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, 33 and 34. And it talks about in that passage about single people who are not married can live in undivided devotion to the Lord because they don't have the entanglement of a spouse and children.
Should I read it?
Sure.
Naye omufumbo yeeraliikirira byansi nga bw'anaasanyusa mukazi we aba yeesazeemu ng'atta aga n'aga n'omukazi atali mufumbo n'embeerera bafaayo ku bintu bya Mukama babeerenga batukuvu mu mubiri ne mu mwoyo. Naye omukazi omufumbo yeeraliikirira bya mu nsi engeri gy'anaasanyusaamu bba. Bino mbyogera olw'okubagasa so si kubaziyiza kuwasa na kufumbirwa, kubanga njagala musobole okuweereza Mukama nga tewali birala bibaziyiza okweweerayo ddala.
You see, a single person
omuntu nga tannaba kufumbirwa
can live in undivided devotion to the Lord.
olina okubeerawo mu bulamu nga weewaddeyo eri Katonda.
But when a person's married,
naye omuntu bw'aba mufumbo,
the scripture says your interests now are divided.
Nti bw'oba mufumbo ebiriibirirayo biba bigabanyiziddwamu.
Part of you is devoted to the Lord,
ekitundu okugwa ekiba kyewaddeyo eri Katonda,
but now you have a devotion to your spouse as well.
naye ate olina n'okwewaayo eri omwagalwawo.
Do you understand that?
Ekyo mukitegedde?
And when he describes the whole husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church,
era bw'agamba nti abaami mwagale bakyala bammwe nga Kristo bwe yayagala ekkanisa.
and in that context, wives are supposed to be respectful and serve their husbands.
Era ng'abakyala mulina okuwa ekitiibwa abaami bammwe.
But it's interesting because he says, you understand that this is an interesting mystery between man and wife.
naye ng'olina okukitegeera nti bino bye byewuunyisa ebiri mu makkati g'omwami n'omukyala.
But I'm talking about Christ and the church.
Njogera ku Kristo n'ekkanisa.
And the thing I need to keep in mind is if I'm head of the home,
naye nga ky'olina okukuuma emabega mu birowoozo byo nti yegwe mutwe gw'amaka.
I need to find a way to serve,
olina okunoonya engeri gy'oweerezaamu.
find another way to serve,
olina okunoonya engeri gy'oweerezaamu.
continue to serve,
oyongere okubaweereza.
and after that serve some more.
era oyongere okuweereza.
And there's not a wife around
who won't be respectful of this husband because he's giving himself for her over and over and over again. So you understand when we talk about mutual respect, sorry, you moved the page. We're talking about equal voice. And we like explaining like this. You first, you first, you first, you first. So you get down to their level. And we say, you first, you first, you first, you first. All right, let's go.
Okay, the third law of relational equilibrium is mutual respect. That's talking about unconditional positive treatment of each other. You both need to feel valued. And it doesn't matter what the issue is between you, what the argument is between you. The relationship is maintained. And our goal is to maintain our closeness. This is all about keep showing kindness even when we disagree. Drop the sharp voice. No name calling. Not telling them that they're not thinking properly. Keep showing kindness.
I think the hardest thing for us is to keep showing kindness when we disagree. You know what I'm saying? But if we have this idea of mutual respect, we work really hard to continue to show respect for each other in spite of differences. Does that make sense? So the first law was shared purpose. Remember, we're like this. Woohoo! And the second was equal voice.
You first, you first, you first, you first.
And then the third is mutual respect. And it goes like this. Oh. Okay? Now you're going to stand up. You're going to stand up. And you're going to do this with your spouse. And if your spouse isn't here, you're going to practice as if they're there. Okay, remember, shared purpose means you want a great marriage. So we say shared purpose, you get your hands together, right? Okay, ready? Shared purpose. Woohoo! Ready? Woohoo! Okay, I want you to know you can do better than that. Right now, Canadians are doing better than that. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woohoo! Yes! That's Uganda style. Stay there.
Yeah.
Stay there. Now we have mutual respect. Okay? You first, you first, you first, you first, you first. Oh, no. Whoa. Wait, listen. Some of you don't have it right. If the man is taller, he has to lower himself. No. Yeah. I got men doing this. Oh, no. You got to be equal. Try that again. Ready? Go. You first, you first, you first, you first, you first, you first. Good, 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 good. This means equal. That's good. All right. And the last one is mutual respect. You got it? Mutual respect? Are you ready? Oh. Come on, that's got to be sappier than that. Ready? Oh, okay, good, good, good. I'll sit down, sit down, sit down.
Good job.
All right, so I'm going to give you 2 or 3 minutes to talk to your spouse. And if your spouse isn't here, talk to a friend who's near. You're going to discuss how you're doing on those 3. Remember, shared purpose. We want a great marriage. Remember the second one? Equal voice. Equal voice. Equal treatment, listening to each other. The third, mutual respect. Discuss how you're doing on those 3 right now. Go ahead. Come on, talk. Good, thank you so much. It's not easy to translate, is it? Especially when I speak so fast. I know, I'm sorry.
It's really good. I just want to let you know, when they translate, they don't often translate for somebody reading the Bible. That's not a common thing they do. So then, if you have like a bigger chunk that you want them to read, just let them know that, and then they'll read it directly. They won't feel comfortable.
I mean, I have it all.
They don't feel comfortable translating off of reading it, because they're like, I might get the word of God wrong. So that's why they don't feel comfortable doing it.
So we got to change that, because that's not helping. And it's not honoring God. So we'll continue to work. Some of you aren't talking. Come on, come on.
tugabane bannange bayinza okuyitayo wano oyogere ekyokoze ki kyemuteesezaawo yogera ku nsonga eddoboozi eryenkana omwami oyo oba omukyala wo muwootya ekitiibwa ekiruubirirwa ky'olina n'omukyala oyo oba n'omwami oyo.
All right, here we go.
Kale bannange tuveyo eyo.
In Canada, in North America actually,
mu Canada eyo mu North America
there's a bird called a woodpecker.
waliwo ekinyonyi babiyita konkona muti.
2 days ago, we just had a wonderful cruise along the Nile and saw many of the birds.
Era ennaku eziyiseeko babadde baliko awo ku River Nile awo ne balaba ebinyonyi ebyo.
But this bird in Canada,
Ekyo ekinyonyi eyo mu Canada
it actually pecks the wood like a tree.
bikonkona omuti bwe batyo papapapapa bwe batyo
See? And it digs a hole.
ne biteekamu ekituli mu muti
It's constantly pecking the tree.
era kiba kikonkona omuti ogwo
Digs a hole,
ne kisimamu ekituli.
sometimes to get some bugs.
Olumu kiba kyagala kufunamu buwuka
Eventually, they dig a hole
ne kiba ne kisimamu ekituli
and they put a nest inside the tree.
ne kiteekamu ennyumba yako oba ekisu kyakyo
But they're constantly pecking the wood.
naye nga bisigala bikoona omuti ogwo.
Very
Thus-
hard.
Thus, they are a woodpecker.
Ekyo kyekinyonyi kye bayita konkona muti.
You heard that now?
Ekyo mukitegedde?
Okay. You've heard of turtles, right?
Tortoise.
A turtle?
Hard shell.
Oh,
Tortoise?
enfudu.
Tortoise.
Yes.
Okay.
Enfudu.
Yeah, they have a hard shell.
Zina ekikalapwa kyabyo ekyo ekigumu.
Right? And if there's danger,
Era wabaawo obulabe
they pull in.
kyangwa amangu okwesika ne kiyingira muli.
The head goes in,
Omutwe ne guddayo
legs and arms go in, right?
amagulu n'emikono byonna ne bigendamu muli
And they just hide in their shell.
ne bigenda mu kikalapwa ekyo ekiwaawo ekyo.
Are you tracking with me?
Mukitegeera
Good.
ekyo?
3 of you are. Okay, good.
Banaye tukitegeera ekyo.
Okay,
they are
good.
all with us.
So, there are 2 types of personalities.
Waliwo ebika by'abantu bibiri.
And your personality actually affects how you communicate.
Era nga ekikula kyo kibeera nnyo n'embala ku ngeri gy'oyogeramu.
Now, it's not a male-female thing.
Tekiriiko nti oba musajja oba mukazi.
Oh, no.
Nedda.
Personality is how God has wired us.
Ekikula kyo y'engeri Katonda gye yaba yakuwayalingamu.
So, I am a woodpecker.
Nze ndi konkona muti.
And I am a turtle.
Ono ye nfudu.
Yeah, and I'm very aggressive.
Ono aggressive kitegeeza ki? Oh my God.
I am open and challenging.
Kwagamba ye mugufu ate asoomooza.
I tend to be more passive and private.
Muntu ono ye musirifu ate ng'ebintu olumu abirekawo ebyo ne biyita.
I engage and I'm usually quite outspoken.
Era nga yenyigira nnyo mu music oba mu nnyimba.
I tend to like to be behind the scenes more.
Ayagala nnyo okubeera emabega eyo emabega wakati niye gy'akolera ebibye.
Like a good woodpecker, I'm impatient.
Era nga ye tagumiikiriza.
I am restrained. I can restrain myself.
Ono ye yeekomako.
Sometimes I speak before I even think.
Olumu oli ye ayogera nga n'okulowooza talowoozezza.
And I like to think things over before I talk.
Ate ng'ono ye alowooza nnyo ebintu nga tannaba kubyogera.
As a true woodpecker, now is always the right time to talk. We got to talk right now.
Era nga konkona muti kino kye kibeera ddala ekiseera ekituufu eky'okwogera ku bintu era nga ye ayagala ne byogerebwawo kati.
And I like to have a nice, safe environment to be able to discuss deep things.
Ate ng'eno enfudu yo eyagala okulaba.
And as
ayina environment ennungi gy'asobola okwogereramu ensonga.
As a woodpecker, I often like to assign the blame and point out where she's wrong, you know.
Kati ono ye konkona muti ayagala nnyo okulaba ng'ono buli ssaawa yamuteekako nti gukusinze.
And because I'm not as aggressive, I generally take the blame and say, fine, great.
Kati ng'ono ye enfudu ye ayagala okutwala ebintu nti kale munsinze nsonyiwa.
You understand the feel?
Ekyo mutegeera engeri eyo.
Yeah, you see the personality differences? And remember, it's not men against women as if it's woodpeckers and turtles. Oh no. There are women here that are woodpeckers. And there are men that are turtles.
Where are my fellow turtles? Who's a turtle here? Come on. Come on.
Come on, you're all chicken. Where's the woodpeckers? Come on, woodpeckers. That's right. That's right. I see some sister woodpeckers out there. You see, it's really different than male and female differences. And it's really different than role differences. It is personality differences. Yeah, and it's not about the size of the person either. Because I've seen a lot of people in my counseling where a tiny little woman like Donalyn is the woodpecker. I got this big guy who's like the turtle. Yeah, it's personality. Yeah. So I want to illustrate something here about connection. I have an onion here. Okay. This is a good Ugandan onion. Now, you've seen red onions before, haven't you? Do you see the different layers? You see the red lines? If I take this part here, I can actually separate the different layers, can't I? Do you see that? Okay, now the reason I'm doing this is not because I like my hands smelling like onions all the rest of the day. But it's explained to you that to connect well, as we get to know each other better, we have to reveal ourselves in deepening levels. At first, when we're starting to date, and in early years of marriage, we often are just kind of barely sharing a little bit of who we are, that outside surface layer that's so shallow. Do you know what I'm saying? But the longer you're married, the more you start going deeper and sharing more of yourself with your spouse. Do you understand that? In a good marriage, both are opening up more. Both are sharing more. And both feel safe to share more. If your spouse doesn't make you feel safe, you close up again, don't you? Yeah. So we want to talk about how to reveal yourself for better connection. And these layers reflect the different levels of your openness. So it starts out, you have to believe that your opinion matters. That's the extension of equal voice. Foolishly sometimes, foolishly sometimes.
olumu mu ngeri ey'obusirusiru
A husband and wife are making a decision together,
nga omwami n'omukyala bali mu kukola okusalawo
and for some foolish reason, the husband disregards his wife's thoughts and opinions about the issues.
omwami ono mu ngeri ey'obusirusiru n'agaana ebiteeso bya mukyala we
Now, what a really foolish thing to do.
ekyo kintu kya busiru nnyo okukikola.
Donalyn has gifts and abilities.
Donalyn ayina ebirabo n'amaanyi ge.
She is a perspective.
Muntu alabe wala.
She is half of the marriage. She is half of the marriage.
Kitundutundu ku bufumbo buno.
And so to consult about decisions we're going to make together, it would be wisest to have all of her best input and all of my best input on the table, and we discuss it together.
Kati bwe tumba tunasalawo kya makulu nnyo okulaba nga kyateekamu nange kyenteekamu tubiteeka ku mmeeza ne tubyogerako.
But foolishly,
naye ekyobusirusiru ekisingayo
people don't bring the best out of each other.
abantu tebajjaayo ebisinga byabwe obulungi.
There was a time in our marriage,
waliwo akaseera mu bufumbo bwaffe
and I'll be very honest, I'm embarrassed to say this.
era nga ngenda kubeera wa mazima ate nga kiswaza nze kye ngenda okwogera.
There was a time in my marriage that I thought I knew better than Donalyn.
waliwo ekiseera yatuuka nga yamanyi yasinga okutegeera okusinga ku Donalyn.
I'll just make the decisions because I know better.
nga nze nsalawo byonna byonna nga seebuuziza ku Donalyn.
Do you know what I think that was about?
omanye ekyo kye kyaliko.
That was my insecurity as a new husband and a young man.
kati ekyo kyali kyakubeera nga ndi awo seesiga bulungi mukyala wange ng'omusajja yali akayingira obufumbo.
When I really started to listen,
bwe natandika okumuwuliriza
I realized she had not only a valid perspective,
nakitegeera nti ayina okulaba kwalabamu ebintu ate nga kulungi.
and a vested interest in the marriage. And a strong interest in the marriage.
nga ate ayina ebiruubirirwa eby'amaanyi mu bufumbo buno.
But she had some really good ideas.
ate ng'ayina ebirowoozo ebirungi.
We make way better decisions together
kati olwaleero luno bakola okusalawo bonna nga bali wamu.
than I make alone.
ate akola okusalawo okulungi ng'ali naye okusingako ng'ali yekka.
So I close this thing about realize that my opinion matters, and she needs to realize that her opinion matters.
kati nenzija mu kutegeera nti ebirowoozo byange birungi naye ate n'ebibye birungi.
See, we were built to complement each other.
kati ne tubeeraawo nga ffenna ebirowoozo bya munno birungi mweyogerako bulungi.
Your spouse was meant to complement you.
omwami wo oba mukyala wo alina okwogerako bulungi nti weebale mami okoze bulungi.
And marriage is this.
era obufumbo kye kino.
It's the merging of two lives, not the canceling of one.
kwe kugatta abantu babiri okufuuka omuntu omu.
So you have to believe your opinion matters.
olina okukkiriza nti ebirowoozo byo bikola.
And you have to volunteer yourself by revealing more levels and sharing who you are.
era ng'olina okweraga mu leya zino zonna nga oli mugufu ne kiraga ki ky'oli.
But you also have to commit to explaining yourself until you are understood.
naye ate ku kino olina okwewaayo okulaba ng'onnyonnyolwa paka nga otegeereddwa. tukitegedde ekyo.
And we have to believe that our own perspective and feelings have equal value.
era nga tulina okumanya nti ebirowoozo byaffe birina okuba nga byenkanankana mu kuteekebwamu ekitiibwa.
And I had to realize after we were married for a while,
era nakizuula kino nga tumaze ebbanga nga tufumbiriganiddwa.
that I shouldn't just turtle all the time. I needed to speak the truth in love.
nti sirina kubeera nfuddu buli kiseera nina okufuba okulaba nga njogera.
We have that common goal to have a great marriage.
naye nga ate tulina ekiruubirirwa kye kimu okubeera n'obufumbo bulungi.
And I don't think Dave can make a great marriage all by himself.
ate nga sisuubira nti Dave asobola okukola obufumbo obulungi ng'ali bw'omu.
There has to be two of us to make a great marriage.
tulina okuba nga tuli abantu babiri okukola obufumbo obulungi.
Yeah. So men and women are clearly different. Men and women are clearly different.
abasajja n'abaami ffenna tuli banjawulo.
And our personalities are clearly different.
ate nga n'ekikula kyaffe nakyo kya njawulo.
Romans chapter 12, verses 9 and 10.
Abalumi 12 olunyiriri olw'omwenda n'olw'okumi. Waliwo asobola otusomerako? Atuuseeyo.
Do you want me to read it in English and you can read it there?
Yes. Romans.
Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves.
Abalumi 12 mwenda egamba mube n'okwagala okutaliimu bukuusa mukyawenga ekibi munywererenga ku kirungi nga mwagalana mu kwagala okw'abooluganda nga muwaŋŋana ekitiibwa.
Over the 51 years married,
mu myaka gyonna 51 mu bufumbo,
as best I can recall,
ekirungi kye nsobola okujjukira,
there's only been 2 times
wabaddewo emirundi 2 gyokka
where we haven't come to an agreement on something.
we tutakkaanyiza ku kintu ekimu.
And I said, well, we got to make a decision by tomorrow.
Kati ne mugamba nti tulina okubaako n'okusalawo kwe tukola olw'enkya.
So even though you and I don't agree, we have to make a decision. So I'm gonna go with this.
Oba tetukkaanyiza naye nze ngenda ne kino.
2 times in 50 years.
Emirundi 2 mu myaka 5.
Everything else we do, we talk about.
Buli kyonna kyakye tukola bannaye
We come to
tukyogerako.
agreement on.
Tujja ne tukkaanya ate ne tuweeyongera mu maaso.
We work hard at not to make financial purchases without the other one knowing.
Tukola nnyo okulaba nga tubaako ebintu bye tugula.
When we were first married,
Bwe twali twakafumbiriganwa,
and that's a long time ago,
egyo myaka mingi egiyise,
we couldn't spend more than $10 without letting the other one know.
nga tetusobola kumala $10 nga munnaffe nga tebategedde bombi.
So that was $7.
Ezo nga zaali $7.
Now you know what that is in shillings.
Kati omanye ekyo kye kitegeeza.
It's not very much.
Ezo si nnyingi nnyo.
But what it does,
Naye kye kikola
it builds trust between us.
kizimba obwesigwa mu makati gammwe.
See, we build trust
Tuzimba obwesigwa
because we talk about everything.
kubanga buli kimu tukyogerako.
And to connect well, you have to work at it consistently.
Era nga munaakola enkolagana eyo ennungi muyina okukikolako.
You have to have time just to have fun together and have dates and just hang out together. Just your version of building the friendship.
Kwegamba okubeera n'enkolagana ennungi mulina okuweefisizaayo akaseera ne musanyukako ne mugendako ku buddeeti ng'obwo.
But then you also have to have time to just sit down and have a talk to discuss what we need to make a decision together.
Naye ng'ate mulina n'okufuna akaseera ke mutuula awo nga mugenda kwogera ku nsonga ezikwatagana ku by'okusalawo.
In Romans chapter 15,
Mu Baruumi 15
verses 5 and 6.
n'olunyiriri olw'okutaano n'olw'omukaaga.
We would pray that this would be true of your marriage.
Era tugenda kusaba nti kino kye kigenda okuba obufumbo bwammwe.
So in the English, it says this. May the God who gives endurance and encouragement, sometimes we need endurance in a marriage. Sometimes we need encouragement in a marriage. But may the God who gives endurance and encouragement give you a spirit of unity among yourselves as you follow Christ Jesus, so that with one heart and mouth you may glorify God the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Kakano Katonda w'okugumiikiriza era azaamu amaanyi abawe okulowoozanga obumu buli omu eri munne mu Kristo Yesu. Mu mwoyo gumu n'eddoboozi limu mulyoke mugulumizenga Katonda kitaawe wa Mukama waffe Yesu Kristo.
Notice it says you develop this spirit of unity among yourselves.
Kigamba nti mubeere n'omwoyo ogwo ogw'obumu.
That's by sharing who you are and listening to your spouse.
Ekyo nga kirimu okwogera ku bikukwatako n'okuwuliriza munno.
So this part of the communication package, we've been trying to encourage you to open up and be like layers of an onion where you peel back and share more of yourself over and over again.
Kati mu kitereke kino eky'empuliziganya tukuzaamu amaanyi okubanga ogabana ne munno naye ate n'akuwuliriza.
So what I'd like you to do just for a few minutes again, what I'd like you to do for just a few minutes again, is I'd like you to talk about one question. How good are we at making decisions together? Do you both feel heard and validated? Okay, now you have to talk to each other. Right now, start talking.
bwe muba mukola okusalawo owulira nga muno omusaamu ekitiibwa oba gw'ogamba nti nze ndi mutwe nze tebaŋŋambako. Abatalina twogere n'emikwano gyaffe.
We're talking to one another.
Tuli mu kwogerezeganya. Eyabadde ne mami yadduse. Bw'obeera eyo ng'oli mwami owulira omukyala ku kintu ekyo kye mugenda okusalawo oba bw'obeera omukyala oyinza okuba ng'oli mukyala naye ng'oli nfudu toyogera ogamba owange.
As I left you with the discussion on how to make the best decision, all right, as I left you with the assignment to talk about decision making, here's a principle to keep in mind. A yes and a no equals no.
Omungu agamba ye omulala agamba nedda. Ansa esembayo ebeera nedda.
So if we're in discussion about something
Bwetubanga tuli badde tudina kye twoteesaako.
And I'm saying yes and she says no,
Nga oli agamba nti ye ate ono agamba nedda.
then we're going to wait. It's a no.
Ekyo kiba kitegeeza nedda.
Because if God has led us together,
Kubanga Katonda aba tulese ne tubeera fembi.
and you would say, God led me to my spouse,
Katonda ya
you would say, God has led me to my spouse.
Katonda oyo yakukulembera n'akugatta n'omuntu ono.
If he has led us together,
Bw'abanga yabaleetera okubeera mwembi,
then he will lead us along together.
agenda kubakulemberamu mwembi babiri.
So a yes and a no
Kati ye ne nedda
on decisions
ku by'okusalawo
means a no. That means you have to wait.
kitegeeza nedda era mulina okulindirira.
Got to talk it through.
Mulina okubyogerako obulungi.
Got to pray it through.
Mulina okubisabirako bulungi.
That's where we have to go.
Eyo y'engeri ey'okutambuzaamu ebintu. Bannaye tukitegedde ekyo? Abaami mugambe ye.
All right. If you understand the communication cycle, particularly when it involves the sharing of emotions, you know that the communication package involves three things. Involves body language, how I'm carrying myself. Involves how you hear me, my tone of voice. And then it involves thirdly my words. Body language, tone of voice, and then the words. That's the communication package. Let me illustrate. I could say it like this. Yeah, I love you.
Not feeling the love here.
Well, what was my body doing? My body was turning away. I had my back to them. I had my arms crossed. What was the tone saying? I was frustrated. I felt I had to say it. But I said the words, I love you. But it didn't come through as that, did it? I could even say, tomorrow I could say, well, I told you yesterday I loved you. But this isn't love. Okay, I love you. But let's try this. So we have had a few bumps along the way. This is a problem here in Uganda, obviously. Apparently, I can't use this illustration. Okay, so what happens is this. If I look at her and I say, we've been together a long time, we'd had our differences, but you know deep in my heart, I work really hard to show you I love you. And I really do. You understand how that's so different than, oh yeah, I love you? Because did you feel this moment here because we're touching each other? And we usually speak with headset mics. So I would have both hands free. You see, and the body screams that I'm with her. The tone speaks of kindness and gentleness. Now when I say I love you, it comes through. It is heard. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing in your marriage? You got the tone, you got the body language, and you got the words. The Pastor Robert said something earlier. I really liked it. Because you know what happens? With this fancy technology we've been getting used to, we communicate with our spouse with our phones, right? So this is what we say in Canada and the U.S. when we speak there. You're not allowed to say anything negative in a text or an email. Nothing negative. Nothing critical. You know why? Because if you look at the communication package, especially with sharing emotions, you know the body language? That is actually 57% of the message. You know the tone of voice? That's 38% of the message. If you do your math out of 100, the words you say are only 7%. Only 7%. So when I share something in a text to my wife, she knows nothing about body language. She knows nothing about tone. She only has those words written on the screen. She doesn't know what you really mean. So we make it a rule in Canada. You can't share anything negative in a text or an email. You got to do that face to face. All right, let's see how you do. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So if your body language makes up 55% of your communication, that's a lot, isn't it? If your body language is negative, your words can't change that much. So if Dave says something to me and I just turn around and walk away, what does that say to him? It says I'm disinterested and I'm going to walk away. I'm withdrawing from it. Or if one thing Dave loves to do in our kitchen, we have an island, a cupboard that has it's not attached to the walls. Be like a table. So he'll come in the kitchen and we'll be talking, and then he'll be thinking about his answer. And he'll start walking around this table. I feel like he's agitated.
I'm just trying to get a workout while I think. And sometimes I have to wait a long time to hear her answers, so I just go for a walk.
That's fair, because sometimes I have to think about my answer, right? So you see how your body language says a lot. We've got to watch what we say with our bodies. What about crossed arms? What does that say? He's disagreeing with me already, isn't he? Or he's defensive. He's being defensive to what I'm saying. Or if he pulls out his phone and starts reading something, that's like he just brought someone else right into our conversation. Yeah, he's shutting me out. What I'm saying isn't as important as what's on the phone. And there's so many things we say with our body language, like how about looking away? I have to make sure I don't roll my eyes sometimes. So we recognize all these wrong messages. What tells you that your spouse is actually listening to you and hearing what you're saying, the whole package? Tell your spouse right now what you love about it when you're talking to them and you know they're listening.
So to be clear, what does your spouse do that makes you feel heard?
When Dave gives me his attention and he looks me in the eyes, I know he's listening.
Take 2 minutes now and talk to your spouse or a friend. What do you do to me that I feel heard? Talk about it right now. All right, you're doing much better at talking. Some of you still haven't got it, but we're getting better. Tomorrow in our session, we'll be asking you to practice and talk through some things as well. So start getting... Yeah. Okay. Another thing that's really important on connecting, I have to listen to my spouse without criticism or judgment. I need to give them time to finish what they're saying. Too often we cut them off. Too often we jump over the other person and start bringing our opinion in. We don't listen without interruption. We interrupt. And we sometimes, if we are listening, we're actually making up our response in our mind before they're even done talking. Do you see how dysfunctional that is in communication? Do you see how dysfunctional that is in communication? Look at James chapter 1 verse 19. In the English it says this. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry.
ekyo mukimanye abooluganda abaagalwa buli muntu abeerenga mwanguwa kuwulira kyokka alemenga kubuguutana kwogera era alemenga kwanguwa kunyiiga eyange bw'egamba.
And it goes on to say in verse 20,
era ne lugenda maaso ne lwogera mu lunyiriri
for
olwabiri
a person's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God requires.
kubanga obusungu bw'omuntu tebumuweesa butuukirivu bwa Katonda.
Quick to listen.
okwanguwa okuwuliriza
Quick to listen.
okwanguwa okuwuliriza
Well, that's not me.
oyo sinze
That's not me. I'm quick to talk.
oyo sinze bannange ono yayanguwa okwogera
I'm quick to share different opinion.
nyanguwa nnyo okugabana endowooza zange endala.
See, it says quick to listen, slow to speak.
okwanguwa okuwuliriza naye ng'ate tetwanguwa kwogera.
Wouldn't that be something if those 6 words were in your marriage? Wouldn't it be something if those 6 words were true of your marriage?
tekyandibadde kintu kirungi singa ebigambo ebyo 6 biri mu bufumbo bwo
Quick to listen,
ng'oyanguwa okuwuliriza
slow to speak.
nga toyanguwa kwogera.
Quick to listen,
oyanguwa okwogera oyanguwa okuwuliriza
slow to speak.
nga toyanguwa kwogera.
Tell me, is that where you're at?
ekyo kyangu nnyo kya bulijjo.
Yeah, we've got some work to do. All right.
And we also have to confirm that you heard what your spouse is trying to say. You heard what was in their heart.
ate ng'olina okukakasa nti otegedde eby'omwagalwa wo byayogedde.
I know Dave loves me,
nkimanyi nti Devu anjagala
and I can be pretty sure he's not trying to hurt me.
ate nga nkakasa nti tagezaako kunnumya.
But sometimes things he says do hurt.
naye ng'ate olumu byayogera binnumya.
And I say back to him,
era ne njogera gy'ali nti
if I heard you correctly, I heard you say,
nti bwe mba nkuwulidde bulungi mpulidde oyogera bw'oti.
and I put it in my own words what I heard him say.
ne nkiteeka mu bigambo byange ekyo kye mba mpulidde kyayogedde.
And then I watch.
ne ndaba.
He tells me back, no, that's not what I meant to say.
n'alyoka nziramu nti bambi ekyo si kye mbadde ntegeeza okwogera.
And he'll try to say it again in words that I can understand.
n'agezaako okuddamu okubyogerako mu lulimi olwo lwentegeera.
Words that I can hear the love coming through.
kati n'ayogereramu ebyo ebigambo bye mpulira ng'okwagala kumwe kuli.
And I have to admit,
era nina okukkiriza.
that probably happens more often with words I say.
Pardon?
It happens more often when I'm speaking.
nti kino kibaawo bw'aba ng'ayogera.
And I look at Dave's face,
n'atunula mu bwenyi bwa Devu.
and I realize he didn't hear what I was trying to say.
n'entunula ne nkitegeera nti bambi tawulidde bye ŋŋambye.
Either his perception wasn't right,
oba ng'engeri gy'akitegeddemu tebadde ntuufu,
or my words weren't right.
oba ng'ebigambo byange tebibadde bituufu.
And that's when I ask for a do-over. Do it again.
N'amugamba nti kiddemu.
And I say, I'm sorry, let me try that again.
ne mugamba nti nsonyiwa naye kanziremu kye mbadde ŋŋamba.
That would be ideal, wouldn't it?
ekyo tekyandibadde kirungi.
But quite often, by the time I say something and he's heard it wrong,
naye buli bwe mba njogedde ekintu nga yakiwulidde mu bukyamu.
and if he comes back with words that portray what he heard,
era ye n'akomyawo ebigambo ebyo by'aba ategedde kye mba ŋŋambye.
now he's a little mad at me.
ate ng'olumu aba anyiigidde.
And then I get mad back,
ate nange ne nnyiiga.
and it goes on.
ne kigenda mu maaso bwe kityo.
Whoa, back it up, stop. I want to do over. I am sorry I hurt you.
kati n'amugamba nti njagala kino nkiddemu bambi nsonyiwa.
We could avoid a lot of disagreements if we would talk to each other that way.
tusobola okwewala obutakwatagana bungi singa ebintu tubikola bwe tuti.
See, if I'm quick to listen
nga oli mwangu wa kuwuliza
and slow to speak
n'obutayangwa kwogera
and really slow to become angry,
era n'otanyiiga mangu,
then we have a context of where we can actually have better communication between us.
ne tubeera n'ensonga ey'okulaba ng'empuliziganya yaffe yeeyongera okuba ennungi.
And the important thing is I have to be careful that I'm not reacting to a misunderstanding.
Kati olina okuba ng'oli mwegendereza nnyo obutakaalamukira nsonga gy'oba totegedde.
Because if I believe that Donalyn loves me and wants the best for me and wants the best for us,
kubanga nzikiriza nti Donalyn amwagala era amwagaliza kirungi,
and she says something that's a little bit off or kind of hurtful,
kati bw'ayogera ekintu nga bambi kiri awo tekikwatagana bulungi nga kinyiiza ate nga kirumya,
I sometimes need to say, well, what did you mean by that?
kati olumu mugamba nti obadde otegeeza kimu ekyo.
Or the way I heard it, I feel hurt.
Engeri gye nkiwuliddemu mpulira ng'ennyiizizaamu enkosezaamu.
And so she has a chance to rephrase it.
Kati n'aba n'omukisa oguddamu okusengeka ensonga ye.
And we move towards greater understanding.
Kati ne tujja nga tutambulira ku eyo okutegeeragana okulungi.
And in so doing,
era mu kukola ekyo,
we have less big blow-ups between us.
Ebintu ebyatiikirivu ennyo oba ebyandibadde bitumalawo nga binene nnyo ne tuba nga tubirinyeeko.
And each couple is different.
Ate nga buli kapo eyawukana.
Sometimes you're maybe the couple that's the yellers and the screamers and letting her fly like that.
Muli kapo nga bwe mukyangalanamu awo buli omu aleekaana n'amabati ne gaagala okuvaako.
Or maybe that you kind of go into the cold wars where you're just silent and you don't talk much. Both of those are unhealthy. So the last thing we want to leave you with is this. Try to validate your spouse's feelings and respect their perspective.
Ate osseemu ekitiibwa endowooza yaabwe.
Do you remember equal voice?
Ojjukira amaloboozi agenkanankana ge twayizeeko.
Her perspective and mine will be different.
Endowooza ye n'eyange biyinza okuba nga byawukana.
And we have to merge
ate nga tulina okubigatta
to do life well.
Okubeera mu bulamu obulungi.
We have to merge
tulina okwegatta
to make decisions well.
Okukola okusalawo kwe kumu.
We have to have that merging give and take to be able to stay close to each other. Yeah. Someone has said this when it comes to these discussions. Do you want to be right? Or do you want to be married? Because sometimes if I have to prove that I'm right all the time, that creates distance between us.
Buli bw'oba oyagala okwefuula nti buli ssaawa oli mutuufu, ekyo kitegeeza ogenda kuteekawo ebbanga mu bufumbo.
In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 11.
Mu Basesalonika ekisooka essula ey'okutaano, chapter what?
1 Thessalonians 5:11.
Basesalonika 5:11
says this in the English. Encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing.
Kale mugumyanganenga era muzimbaganenga nga bwe mubadde mukola.
Interesting, eh? Encourage, that means words that are building.
Mwezimbenga.
Words that are lifting.
Ebyo ebigambo ebizamu munna amaanyi ebimusitula.
Words that are kind. And so that at the end of our discussions, my spouse feels lifted. Not pushed down. Not disregarded. Not disrespected. And so if you haven't got it yet, when we talk about quick to listen, we're trying to work to understand the heart of the other person and their perspective and their opinion. Slow to speak means that I'm going to take my time to make sure I understand what she's saying before I respond. And for sure, slow to become angry. Implication here, anything beyond even your anger is so inappropriate. So the point I'm trying to make here is if Scripture says here that I need to be slow to become angry, at some point, if you start to feel angry, your emotions getting revved up, you need to say to your spouse this: we need to take a break. I need a time out. And I'm going to go over here and do whatever I need to do, talk to Jesus, go for a run or whatever, so that I calm down, because Jesus doesn't want me to be this person who is pushing my spouse away to get my own way. And you understand, if you started to practice these principles over and over again in your marriage, you'd likely have a chance to make it to 51 years. And you know what else? We like to tease this. We like to tease in this way. We've made it 51 years. Yeah, like you're going to make 52. But you remember in those tough years? Do you remember in those difficult years in your marriage? You weren't sure you're going to make it? You know, years 3 and 4 were difficult and you're fighting all the time. Well, you got to grow up. Man, I want you to know something. I did not realize how selfish I was until I got married. Selfish, self-centered, felt that she had to fit into my plans. I did not represent Jesus well. Because if anybody was other-centered, wasn't it Jesus? So we got some work to do. So here's what's going to happen from here on to tomorrow. We're going to talk about how to resolve conflict. We like to say how to have a good fight. Because you're going to have disagreements, right? You can't help but having disagreements. But how do you resolve them in a way that you actually end up closer afterwards? So we're going to talk to you first of all about how to resolve conflict. And then I'm going to actually do a session by myself. What does it look like to have God in a marriage? You're here as Christian couples. You're here as Christian couples. You would be saying, well, God is in my life. And is in my spouse's life. So I guess God must be in our marriage. But what does it look like if God is in your marriage? So then after that talk, I'm going to open it up for your questions. And we look forward to being encouragement to you, I pray. Okay, Pastor, you're back on.
Let's clap for our teachers.
Thank you so much, Dave and D&D. Thank you, D&D. I always ask myself, how do these guys meet with similar, like first names, like they have D, they have like D and D, like. G and G. So do you guys change names on the way? No, I'm kidding. You know, people. It's like God bringing people together. Even the names can be alike. But even if your name is Robert and her name is Nobert, whatever it is, if really you don't work your lives out together, the names don't make a difference. I have been watching you on as I was away. My young boys. And I was coming back and I'm saying, wow, this is powerful. So thank you for sharing your hearts with us. Yeah, I heard a little bit about the communication as I was coming. And I remembered how many times in my life over the last, in my first 5 years, like you say, Dave, and how I was horrible with communicating with my wife. It's like I was always right, and she has to come with me on that. So I think men, we have to learn from their experience of 51 years. Lord abadde avunula n'ayogera mu kifo ky'okukolokota abadde agamba kukalakata kati bannange abaana baana munyiga Oluganda wano kiri kukolokota criticize being critical. I always wanted to be like I am the detailed guy. I want this. Kati okubeera okukolokota omuntu.
Now to criticize someone.
Buli kiseera nga tukolokota.
Every time you are criticizing your partner.
Tomulabamu kalungi konna.
You don't see any good in that person.
So thank you, Dave and Donalyn, for your really beautiful and biblical insight. How many of you are excited for tomorrow? I am. You can tell, especially for you, like you can go back to Mubenda and get your spouse if you can. Or you can give them a call that you're missing. Let's go. It's always good when it's the two of us together. So tomorrow we'll be here at exactly 9. We come in. Dave and Donna will be here at 10. And we shall start with worship, and at exactly 10 they will be starting their first session. Actually, breakfast will be at 7. And breakfast is for all of us, not just for those who are going to who are residing here. So exactly 7, between 7 and 8, we will be having breakfast. Amen. Well, I think we're going to end it here. Do we have anybody who wants to say anything before we leave? Yeah, Peter. What do you want to Peter? He's picking you on your joke. He's asking, but he's picking. He knew. I think he really understood you literally. That you're 51 in marriage and she's 45. So how does that happen? So he was really listening. Yabadde asaaga Peter. Naye gotolanga afaanana ng'owana mu etaano. You look 45, Donalyn. I'm trying to. Yeah, I think you look 45. So that's. Thank you. Well, let's stand and say, let's bless each other now. If you have your couple, if you have your. Manyi mugenda kusula mwenna tekirina buzibu naye era mwewe omukisa wano nga mugenda. I know you're going to sleep together, but still you can bless your spouse. Enkya Barbara abajjukiza nti bwe mba mwagala okuwayo ekiweebwayo kiri gye muli mu kiweeyo bw'oba wazze nakyo. Barbara abajjukiza n'enkya bwe mutyo. Nyabo, just hold your now kati awo batalinaawo obuzibu ekibalumira.